Well, there's no better time for a procession than Corpus Christi, the feast of the body and blood of Christ. And the reason is because our Eucharistic faith is not just focused only on what we do in the church, but what we do when we leave the church. And there always seems to have been this intuition among God's faithful people that somehow or other we want to bring our church life, our Eucharistic life, into the world. Even if we look at the Latin Mass in Latin, the term ite missa est, sometimes it's translated as go the Mass is ended. But a literal translation is go the Mass is. In other words, take the faith and the life and the love that we share by receiving personal presence of Christ in our hearts and carry it into the world. And Eucharistic processions are one way of doing this very graphically, inviting everybody after the celebration of Mass to actually take that Eucharistic presence that is in us and among us into the world, and to show this in some way, to celebrate this. And many, many people love seeing this. I remember in my old parish in Ridgewood, we used to do this every Corpus Christi, and it was a great community uniter. We had a multi-ethnic community. We had Polish people, Latino, Spanish people, Italian people, German heritage people, Irish. We all got together, and it really was a unifying thing to be able to go through the neighborhood. And I remember seeing Muslim neighbors looking out the window, and people that I knew hardly even knew, what are they doing? What are they doing? And yet there was a peace about it that was so attractive. Jesus always brings peace. So you can actually have a procession that is solemn and reverent. It doesn't have a lot of noise, but certainly plenty of focus. And that focus is on Jesus, and he is the central focus, as you see that host in the monstrance, and the prayerfulness of that presence going into the whole community. Sort of a model of the way we ourselves can be as Christians. We don't go around with clashing cymbals and big horns and call attention to ourselves. We call attention to the one whose presence is in our midst and whom we wish to go and present to the world by our example, by our love, and by our presence in our communities. So it's a great model of who we really are.